Fred Warner. What's up with that? He needs an extension. He's in the exact same spot that George Kittle was in last year. George Kittle's thing dragged out until pretty much the week before his first practice. And that was late July. This year, there's OTAs. My question to you is, should Fred Warner go to those OTAs, voluntary, and play without a new deal? If you were his agent, what would you suggest? There's no penalty for not going.
Yeah, if I was his agent, I'm telling him not to go. There's no benefit for him to go right now. Everything is just a negative, because the last thing that you want to have happen is like what happened in Denver, where the guy goes out and gets hurt and before at this point in the season, just
who was that?
Sit out.
Who are you talking?
Oh no, the guy that just got injured. He was working out on his own.
It just happened recently.
Yeah, one of their tackles got hurt working out on his own, and now he's going to lose $10 million because he was working out away from the facility. Yep. But even you can still use that here in this case, because this is a guy who's due to make a big payday, and if he goes out and anything happens in OTAs, that's out the window.
Absolutely. So he should not go. He might go because, I don't know, that's his personality or something, but he shouldn't. And I think the 49ers should want him there. So I think this should wrap up soon. I don't know if it will, but it should.
I don't think the 49ers have the money right now to make the deal. If you look at their salary cap situation, they're when you look at their top 51 number, they still have about $18 million even after the rookie signing. But when you take into account what their salary cap situation is, like at their 53-man roster, they're right up against it. So I don't think they have the money really to make a move on him right now. That goes back to the Jimmy Garoppolo situation.
That's what I'm saying. Let's circle back to the original question. Who's the odd man out? Maybe it's Jimmy.
Yeah, I think there's, I wrote an article earlier this week about this. I think there's a lot of smoke going on right now about this, and there was no reason for Jimmy Garoppolo to go on a media tour after the draft to talk about what a good guy he's going to be, and there was no reason for Jed York to have to come out and talk about how they want to go ahead and keep him, and they'd be willing to keep him for 2 more years, unless you're trying to build up value for a guy that you weren't able to get value for already because your head coach came out and basically said we don't want him.
Yeah, so maybe this is how it could work. OTAs come out and Trey Lance shows what he's made of. Not what he's made of, or shows his readiness. Let's say he looks great. Let's say he's ready to do this. Like, he's got enough of the playbook memorized. He doesn't fumble the snaps. He can get the words out. He can execute well enough, and it looks good. Maybe they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo before training camp. Hey, we've seen enough. We've got Nate Sudfeld, Josh Rosen. That's 3 right there. Thank you. And we got Josh Rosen. That's 4. We got four quarterbacks for camp. Trey Lance has shown enough. Thank you very much, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I could see that happen, and where it's something that maybe it's a trade that happens right before training camp starts. There's teams out there that want him. From what I'm hearing, there's New England still really likes this guy. They still have a special spot for him. Houston, they have Tyrod Taylor, who hasn't really done very well when he's been a starter. And they got a guy Davis Mills, who's played far less games than even any of these guys than Trey Lance, when he was at Stanford. So there's a couple of spots there, and then who knows what's going to happen in Green Bay. If Green Bay could pick him up on a cheap deal as far as a trade, and they have to do something with Aaron Rodgers, at least you're getting a quarterback that knows your offense and can step in late and guide you.
And it's interesting, as you say, the Niners really don't have the cap space to extend Fred Warner right now. Okay, let's play this out logically. The Niners don't have the cap space to extend Fred Warner right now. 2, the Niners have to extend Fred Warner this offseason. 3, the Niners have to create cap space to extend Fred Warner this offseason. 4, how are the Niners going to create that cap space? 5, trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
There's a couple of things. There's trading Garoppolo. They're going to get some cap space. They're also going to get some cap space when they finally decide that they're going to cut Weston Richburg.
Right,
because he's still on the roster. So there's still some maneuvering that can go on, but they just don't have it right now. So definitely Garoppolo's got to be a name though that you pay attention to that. And then you've got there's Richburg, and I think there might be one other guy that's they're holding on to, but the expectation is he's not going to be around.
One of those quarterbacks is getting the boot. I do not think 5 are going to make it to training camp. It's going to be like The Bachelor. Someone's not getting a rose. I'm sorry, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, somebody is going to lose their flower before the.
That's right. Shane says, isn't Warner signed through the season? Why the rush on a contract? That's a fair question. It's the same situation the Niners were in last year with Kittle. You don't want to put a young star leader, captain, pillar of the franchise into a lame duck season where he could get hurt and not get money, right? That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's he does have a contract through this year. But from his standpoint, that's why he wants. This is where he has leverage. Is he has the leverage to not show up, and as long as he's willing to not get paid, and if he's willing to hold out, then that's what he should do.
Right, and he won't get. I don't think he'll get fined for not going to a voluntary OTA in May. It's just protecting yourself. I don't need to go there. There's no penalty. But the Niners shouldn't want this relationship to deteriorate. They should want him happy. They should want him there the same way they wanted George Kittle happy in there. I mean, they negotiated, but they didn't ever get to a point where George Kittle held out.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll see that either. I think we'll see something done early in right before training camp or right after it starts. I think that's when we'll see a deal for him get done. And as one of the guys over here in the comment section, where Weston Richburg is a guy that they can get some money from. D Ford even possibly if that's the direction they go. I don't know what his contract looks like now, but I know they can save some money by getting rid of him too at the end of the off season. Well,
it'll be interesting to see. Something should happen this week. Either he gets an extension, or he doesn't go to OTAs, or he does. And one way or another, it'll be interesting to see what happens. There should be a development with Fred Warner this week. I'm excited for that because there hasn't been a development since the Niners drafted dudes, and I like developments because my hits do better that way. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes, we need topics. Let's go. Come on, Niners.
News. That's how journalism works. It works with news.
Yeah.
Niners, give us some.